Hey, good Friday morning, Foggers. You made it to the end of the week. Soon you'll have some time with your loved ones, some time to yourself to be able to go out and enjoy life without having all the responsibilities and the stress of your first responder profession, right? So where are we at? So listen, yesterday I got tons more of messages regarding the tragedy from our BSO deputy, and a lot of anger towards the head of that particular agency, right? BSO. Let's not forget that the BSO agency is made up of men and women that serve and dedicate. So this is not about BSO, and plenty of deputies have reached out to me that have never reached out to me to thank me, and my response is thank you, right? Because you guys are the ones that are navigating that ship, because obviously there's nobody driving it. So that leads me to this, because of the amount of messages and DMs and texts that I got about that, let's not lose sight of the fact that this whole tragedy was about the suicide from that deputy, right? I am not going to waste my time or my breath talking about what somebody didn't do and how bad they are. That goes without being said, and I am not going to waste my breath on that. What I am going to do is talk about the fact that somebody thought that life was so awful and that there was no other problem solver, because that's what our therapists tell us, that people look at suicide as a problem solving. And I remember when I was in that time, for me, it was I just don't want to do this, and I'm not going to do this anymore. So I don't want to waste my breath and my time addressing people that really are not with the program, right? So, we're dealing with the tragedy of the loss of the deputy, and I want to learn a little bit more about him. And I have, there's a lot of things that I don't discuss because I haven't verified them, and I always want to be responsible in the information I give you. I know I found out that he had two kids. I think they were two boys. I'm not sure, and other information about him and his family, and I'll keep until it really is not a valid point. But I want again to focus on the men and women that were left behind by this tragedy, right? His partners, his family, and focus on mourning. And I always preach about putting in the work, and I'll give you a great example. And there was an officer who his family has really become part of my family, and he's now at detox and he's getting the treatment that he needs. But even in detox, he's putting in the work. He's in intensive therapy, finding out why he was drinking and doing the things he was doing, and finding out who he is, his identity, right? We've always talked about that. And so when I tell you guys about putting in the work, that is what I'm talking about. Nothing easy is going to come to you, right? And if it does, it's fake and it's temporary. So we talk about putting in the work. We talk about this week about definitely the tragedy from this deputy, but the desire that I have for the men and women that were left behind is the fact that you have to mourn, right? We preach here feeling. Even if it feels like shit, you have to feel. That is the natural mechanism that the body has to heal, okay? And I can tell you that because when I went through my therapy and I went through EMDR, that's what I learned, right? When you feel and you mourn, it is your natural ability. Like we talked about the analogy yesterday about skinning your knee when you fall off your bike, right? So I'm asking everybody to continue to feel, mourn. I have inquired about funeral arrangements. It is not uncommon in suicides for that to be kept kind of quiet. My prayer is that if we do find that out, that information, that we are able to respond and honor this man how he's deserving, right? Miami-Dade Police did the motorcade for the fire rescue, and it was impressive. It was painful, but it's an honorable thing to do. I truly believe that these tragedies are in the line of death type of deaths, and they're deserving of everything. That is just my belief. I think that the job contributes so much to these stressors, and no, it is not everything, but it's a major component of of shit that goes bad in our life. It just is trauma and stuff like that, the injuries, and we're just scratching the surface on all this kind of stuff. But so anyway, listen, it's Friday. It's been a painful week for a lot of us. It hits home for us, and as the weekend approaches, we should keep that deputy and his family in our prayers, and keep your eyes open for the people around you. I have a fear sometimes, and it's happened before, that there may be more suicides, a potential for it, okay? And I don't want that. We need to be looking around, talking, feeling, opening our eyes. If your gut, which I think is the Holy Spirit, tells you to reach out to somebody, do it. Listen to that gut feeling. That feeling is not only good when we're at work and doing dangerous things. Those, however you want to call it, spidey senses, gut feeling, whatever you want, listen to that. So we should be reaching out, looking around us, and trying to help that person that's in need. If they're acting different, if they're way too happy, if they're not happy, if they're isolated, look for anything that is different, okay? And the people that this deputy left behind, all his partners, his squad, that whole platoon, those people should be reaching out, and if not, we should be reaching out to them. So please do that. All right, it's Friday. God bless you. Thank you for everything you do, for your sacrifice, and for the stuff we'll never forget. All right, happy Friday, and I'll be back home tomorrow, and I'll be here as soon as God allows me to. God bless you. 3 a.m. Father.